The following is intended only for mature audiences.
Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
This is Steiny.
Hello?
I alluded to this in a previous episode. I said I wanted to bring this up later. Okay, so here's the whole premise of the episode. It's kind of like the whole, you write the wrong date, you go in time fucking TV show idea. One of those weird stoner thoughts that I don't even smoke weed. Okay, would you rather be 10 years younger but still remember everything, like you're in this place in life, but you de-age 10 years, or go back in time 10 years with all the knowledge and then rewrite history?
Well, obviously the second. I actually had a thought about this the other day.
Good,
if I would have had almost this exact same type of thing. It's like you couldn't just go and win the lottery and then do a bunch of stuff and change the world. You just have to kind of be successful in small ways and under the radar. But yeah, I would do that.
Okay. I mean, one thing is like, obviously I have my kids, and then to be 10 years younger, I would physically become 31 again, which would be fucking awesome, because then my back wouldn't ache so easily, and I'd be able to run faster.
But it's only 31.
That's okay, dude.
We're talking 21.
No. Because your brain wouldn't be fully developed.
No, but you'd still... Okay,
And you'd still have a boner that is hard enough to fucking chop wood with, literally.
That'd never go down. Yeah.
Remember those boners when you're like 18 to 25? I mean, even 18 to 21, that's a different kind of boner. That is a dangerous kind of boner. You could kill a woman with boners from then. Because it would get so hard it would almost hurt. And it would stay hard for so long that it's almost like a dog chasing cars when he finally catches one. Like, what the fuck does he do with it? You're inside of a girl and you've got this fucking broomstick of a hard-on, and it just won't go away. Even when you bust a nut, within 5 minutes when you're younger, it's hard again and ready to go. And it's like, why? Yeah. What the fuck? I don't want this power.
Yeah, in that age time, I remember it not going down. It's like, oh, we can go again.
Shit, remember when you were fucking 12 to 18? And it would just fucking get hard on a whim by itself without even thinking about anything sexy? You might accidentally brush against the inside of your boxers wrong, and the bell's about to ring in math class. You're like, oh, fuck, I have to stand up in 30 seconds. Okay, cars and baseball, fucking go away. Please go away. Please go away. Okay, grandma naked. But I said naked, now I'm picturing boobs, and that chick next to me, boobs. Fuck.
Yeah, it was brutal sometimes. Falling asleep in class, the next thing you know,
Yeah, that's the other thing. You would think just morning would, but like anytime you fall asleep. Yeah. And I found that if I'm dreaming before I wake up, I'm more likely to wake up with a massive boner still.
Right.
Even at this age.
Yeah. Yeah, what is with that, right?
Yeah. Or if I'm like really tired, but I can't quite fall asleep, or it's not time to go to bed, I'll just start getting NRBs. Or for those that don't know, no reason boners. Those just fucking happen.
Yeah.
Fucking NRBs. But instead of just talking about our dicks, obviously, if you were 10 years younger, now at 31, my testosterone level would be higher. I would sleep better. I wouldn't get tired as fast working out.
Sure.
And then you have everything the same now. And I'm fine for the most part with my station in life if I could have 10 years of physicality back, because my son is 4.5.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to technically be an old dad at any point. Like, your son's turning 18 this year.
Yep.
And you're 46.
Yeah, I'll be 47 by the time he turns 18.
And when my son turns 18, I'm going to be 50 fucking 5.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I remember having classmates in high school whose parents were like already retired and collecting Social Security and thinking, why? That's really old. But then realized it's not that old.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But just it seemed like it back then. But I also had parents that, my mom was 18 when she had me, so I kind of had the other end of the spectrum where I had young parents.
I'm trying to think of what else in terms of being 10 years younger. I mean, because it's mainly just physicality's sake. I could build muscle easier. I would have more endurance for working out. I could run longer distances and play with the kids more.
I hear you.
You might not require as much sleep.
See, and I just think the ability to go back and to know what I know ahead of time type of thing, and to maybe not make some of the same mistakes or all that, I think would be great. As far as the physicality, yeah, I mean, for me, 10 years ago, 36, I had just gotten recovered from breaking my leg when I was like 34, and I was in some of the prime shape of my life because I was delivering furniture. I was,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, playing soccer regularly.
Now you have a sit-down job.
I do. And
on a computer.
It sucks. As far as, I don't get paid to work out like I used to. I miss
Right.
it. Yeah.
And that's one thing why, at my age, I like working in a warehouse with heavy lifting.
Absolutely.
Because they're
I don't blame
paying
you.
me to work out, and I'm staying in shape on the clock
Yep.
in addition to my workouts. But if I was 10 years younger, it wouldn't really faze me. I'd have more benefit and less recovery time needed. And here's a big one. I almost forgot. I'd have more hair.
Yeah, that is
It's-
one thing I wish I would have 10 years ago.
It's
or 10 years
thinning.
back.
My hairline's receding. I don't like that. Just, I either want it all back or just I want it all gone.
Yeah, it would be nice not to have to take care of it. I would like 10 years of hair back. Yep, that would be nice. But it's just delaying the inevitable, though, too. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know.
That's kind of the whole point of the Fountain of Youth story, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I could be younger and keep going. So 10 years ago, where was the world?
Right.
In 2014, this is still the Obama era.
Yep.
We hadn't gotten Trump.
Nope. It was actually right around the midterms where, yeah, I think pretty much Obama had no power left as far as...
Yeah, they were trying to basically undo everything he was trying to do or stop him from doing anything further.
They basically said, yeah, once we get in here, our main goal is to not let him pass any more legislation, which, I guess if you feel like the legislation being passed isn't benefiting you, that's going to be what you're going to do. But yeah, but just think of how many other things. For me, my son would be, 7, 8 years old,
The Juice would be 3,
Yeah.
and her sister would be 1.
Right.
And I got to
wouldn't
say,
have the other two.
that's one of my favorite age eras of their life when they were
Yeah.
3 and 1, because I had the one that was preschool age and discovering the world, and the other one that was just like this silly, helpless toddler that was always doing crazy, weird shit.
Yeah, very fun time. A lot of it's fun,
Twitter wasn't that big.
right? Well, just think of the investments you could make.
Smartphones
I'd invest
that
all my
big?
money in Zoom.
Zoom.
Back when it was probably even just a namesake at a company.
You might have even been able to go back and still invest in Skype then.
Yeah.
Or was Skype past its prime?
Not yet. Skype kind of went past its prime right at the pandemic. They basically were poised to be, the next big thing, and then Zoom took over instead. But yeah, all these things you could just make small investments on. You could bet on Tom Brady winning another few Super Bowls and stuff
Yeah, no
like
shit.
that. All
You
that
could
stuff.
put money down that Kobe Bryant's going to die in a helicopter crash.
Right? Who would be that morbid to bet on it? I would. But, not just that, but, other decisions in my life, ways to invest, things that I wish I would have learned that I never seem to have the time for, just ways I could build on the knowledge I have and just become more, I don't know, more complete.
Are there any financial decisions that you would walk back? Now, I'm going to remind you that at that time you had sold the house, split from your son's mom, and were with your roommate
Yep.
that you had for a number of years, your friend.
Yep.
So that's where you were at. But in terms of any financial decisions that fucked you over, because now we're past where you broke your leg.
Yep.
And you were on the ropes in terms of financials.
Actually, I have about 10 years ago, I was just getting done with my school. So I'd actually kind of gone through the worst of it. But as far as financial decisions, not really. I mean, I guess I would try to be a little bit better with my money and less frivolous like anybody. Like of all the money I've been making over the years, I should have more of it, right? Type of thing.
Yeah.
I wish I would, probably invested it more towards retirement and things like that. But as far as financial decisions, not really. No, I mean, I'm happy with the house I'm in right now. I really appreciate, really glad I made that move, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that my wife and I, that I feel like I haven't been a strong enough proponent of spending at times. I feel like we, maybe some of those purchases over the years, maybe I wish we hadn't done some of those, but, I feel like we've invested well in our house as far as the redoing the floors all on our own, finishing the basement on our own, things like that.
Making the most of equity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Would you have gotten married sooner?
No.
No.
I think when I got married was just right based on who we are. I mean, obviously we still have our rocks and in the road type of thing, but no, I think we got married at a good time. Now, okay, so financially, is there some things I wish I would have done differently? Yeah, there's definitely things with taxes when it comes to my son's mom. I wish I would have pushed more to have an every other year alternating thing instead of just letting her file them and then, split.
Rely on her to give you what you are agreed upon to
Right.
be given, and she fucks you over.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Things like that. There's all sorts of stuff. Hindsight, I wish I would have done differently. Hell, anybody who has kids would go, gosh, I wish I would have spent more time with them during this time, in this era, in this phase. You know what I mean? And I could definitely go back to 7 and 8 year old Micah and find ways to spend more time with him, because he's going to be 18 and that happened fast, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely take that ability to go back in time and maybe appreciate some of the things that I didn't, or I feel like I should have appreciated more.
Now, I say that I would have gotten married sooner.
Yeah?
Go back, do it over, because then I would have had a greater chance, I feel, at establishing a more sustainable bond with my stepdaughter also. Because that was a tough cookie that I never all
She
the
was
way
a little
cracked.
too old for that?
I don't know, because she grew up in her grandma's house, and she had her own room. And then when we got together, she moved into my house and had to live under my rules.
Oh, sure.
And, when Mom was at
Siblings.
work,
Yeah.
Grandma kind of gave her what she wanted to make her happy. That's what grandparents do.
Oh, they spoil them.
When she lived in my house and Mom was at work, there's expectations of behavior and chores
Yep.
and hygiene, things we'd fucking butt heads on.
Hygiene of all things.
Yeah. If I go back 10 years to right now, I could avoid all the shit that started to build up when I worked at the jail.
Yeah.
That led to me leaving there
Yep.
unceremoniously, but being paid to go away. I could avoid all of that and still have that job. But conversely, I would have had to work in a jail during the pandemic, and I was so fucking glad that I didn't have to work at the jail during the pandemic. Although the numbers were way down because they didn't want so many people in a small facility commingling
Yeah, I
and
wondered how
spreading
that
that
worked,
shit.
yeah.
Because, there were people that thought that fucking COVID was the plague.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then, other people that are like, it's just a cold.
It's neither, right? It
Yeah.
was somewhere in the middle, but
Somewhere in the fucking middle.
either
But
way, we overreacted and underreacted. So
I don't think there's any major purchases. But in the spring of 2014 is the first time that I went to court with
The Beast.
and there's some vagueness to the language in that original custody order that I would amend
yeah,
so that she couldn't hold it over my fucking head. And that would mean that a number of fights that we had
wouldn't have happened.
would not have gone the same way.
Yeah.
I would have been able to just sweep the leg every fucking time so easy. Like, bitch, it states that I work this rotation now, but I'll have the kids on my days off. And she would always say, no, we have to go back to that rotation. That's what it's agreed upon. And if I go back 10 years, I could say to her, no, that's not what that means. You're interpreting it wrong. Yeah. And if you force me to continue this when it's no longer my rotation, I will have you held in contempt of court. And I will not back down. So if you want to go to downtown Fucktown, just let me know and I'll punch your ticket. We'll hit the off-ramp. But otherwise, learn how fucking English works, climb out of my ass. You don't run the show. Hadouken!
Yeah, it's stuff like that, right? Those are the reasons why you'd want to go back. Yeah, 10 more years of youth I would definitely like, but yeah, I'd like to be able to go back and right some wrongs and take care of some business.
Yeah.
And make a lot of money and get some nice places and see
Yeah.
the world.
And have a smaller body count.
Right?
See how I bring it back full circle?
There you go, yeah.
This episode started as a mention in the previous one, and now I'm bringing it back. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It Podcast Show. For the What Do We Call It Podcast, I'm Jman.
This is Steiny.
And that's the end.